Hey, what's going on, folks? All right, listen, I'm gonna come right out the box and say it. I'm gonna keep it G with you, as I said I would. I ain't want to do this show today. I really didn't. Ain't gonna lie. There's a few different reasons. Some because of my mental capacity of dealing with what the potential of failure could be. Frankly, just peering inside of my fragile soul and ego. Second of all, because first of all, we lost. We lost this series. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that this was one that we could have won. I frankly think that the Pirates and the Cardinals were fairly evenly matched, despite the fact that we do still sit one game ahead of them. Yeah, we were outmatched, and because of plays like this, where Tom Sajasi is I mean, youth and inexperience definitely get it to him. He was still trying to go to the plate, but that's never happened to him before, so he don't know what to do in that period. But it still sucks. Doesn't make it suck any less. All right. So I wasn't looking forward to it, especially given the fact that, yes, we did lose again to the Pirates. And there's a couple other things that went on with this that also are making me a little less encouraged. But one of the reasons, frankly, is just personal. It's just something that happened to me, not even happened to me. I just a little bit of behind the curtain, fourth wall removed. I just wanted to talk baseball with folks that do because I'm not a big friend guy. I got like two or three. And I went through the, whole course of Googling batter up to see if this name was taken by anybody, if anybody else had this, because I didn't want to be too unoriginal. And lo and behold, when I searched my little self yesterday, I am one of maybe 50 batter up podcasts, not all of which are currently active, but I just couldn't help but notice, like, oh, so this name ain't original after I went through all this trouble to get all these graphics done and to look all cute and to try to make things look kind of professional. All of a sudden, I'm just now learning that this name has been taken. I done went and got a logo made. I done put it behind Busch Stadium. I done made it look all cool and stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm here to realize this not even original. How many batter up? I looked on YouTube. I was like, damn, made me discouraged. I was like, man, this field is oversaturated. Then I had to pep talk myself and say, look, bro, did you do this for everybody or did you do it for yourself? And I feel like I'm doing it for myself, but I don't want to be the only one watching. That sucks too. So I'm not going to sit here and lie. As a dude who has other podcasts and has other outlets, to see the numbers. I know you have to work towards it, but I ain't gonna lie, it gets to me every now and then. Even though I know I can take liberties because I'm here speaking to the void, I'm still kind of like, damn, I wish I had one comment in this, but but it's all good. It's all to the good. But yeah, this hurt. This hurt seeing that I couldn't use the stuff that I had went out my way to kind of make graphics for. I was like, oh, this kind of looks kind of cool. We getting somewhere with this. So what am I to do now? Well, I did have another entity that I was working on with some friends of mine, Bad Ty, Solo, Black Ron, Bo P, which we do talk sports on Tuesday mornings. And most of us, except for Bad Ty, are stand-up comics. And so we call that the stand-up sports bar. So what I'm thinking about doing is changing the name of my baseball thing to reflect a division of the stand-up sports bar clique, because I didn't see stand-up sports bar when I Googled that at all. That's a completely 100% original name. So I'm kind of toying with that. So all of that just kind of made me be like, man, do I really feel I don't want to do today? And I'm supposed to have my cousin Evan on today. My cousin that's in St. Louis. I am actually in Florida, but I am from St. Louis. I moved down here when I was a little younger. But my whole family, especially my father's side, is in St. Louis. My mother's side is in Georgia, Albany, Georgia. Shout out to Dougherty County. But yeah, I'm a frequenter of St. Louis. That's where I grew up. That's where I learned how to talk, walk, eat, and watch baseball. And so my cousin Evan, who I'm going home to see the Dodgers game with him in the first weekend of June, supposed to come on today, but I told him I ain't even talked to him yet. I was just like, man, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way because I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit. Since ain't nobody listening, no way. Shoot, I could sit here and vent. But back to baseball. So I'm wrestling with what to do, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know whether or not I should go with the batter up thing or if I should go with the stand-up sports bar thing. I'm leaning heavily towards the sports bar thing because this one, again, is original, and that's what I want to stay. So we'll see how that goes. Now, back to the game that we lost yesterday. Shamedly so, because it was dumb plays that led to us losing. And when I say dumb plays, I mean that. And I don't mean like you could. There is a very, very thin line between bold and bluster, right? Like, this right here, I can honestly say was Yeah, it was Tommy's fault a little bit. He shouldn't have slowed down at all. That little stutter step you saw right there should not have ever happened. Once he saw boom, and we should have been like, oh, free base, I got home. But he didn't know. And I honestly ain't mad at Tommy because I'm like, yo, bro, the dude is, have you ever seen Thompson JC play? He's like, it's like watching a 4-year-old get a lollipop for the first time. It's like watching a bunch of teenage kids get dropped off at the mall. Like, he's just so happy. You can't be mad at Thomas and JC. Like, he's just a happy-go-lucky kid. Yeah, that cost us the game right there. I'm just gonna keep it real because that's the 8th inning, bro. And if we had scored that run, there wouldn't have been no extra innings. This game went on for 13 innings. 13 innings. So that, look at all these zeros, all the way up to 12. So if that had scored in the 8th, then we would not have gone to the 10th. That's my assumption. Of course, you never know. Things could have changed. They might have came in with a fire under their belly in that 8th and 9th inning at the bottom. As far as where I stand, I still stand to believe that this play right here could have very easily made it so that we won this game. Now, that's not the only play that cost us a little bit. Let's just keep it G. There were other plays in addition to this that were ugly, but there was one in particular that I wanted to call out because I spoke about this yesterday. I spoke directly about it. I spoke directly about it. And this ain't even cute. I don't like how they did this to us, man. Look at they over here making fun of us, putting memes up about us and stuff. Y'all pirates, y'all ain't nothing, man. Look. Can somebody come over here and look at this? This is what they doing. This is what we doing. We roasting. We using the Beat It video to show how they. Okay, whatever. I ain't even sitting there mess with y'all. So at the end of the day, man, the other dumb play. All right, if you remember the last time I was here, if you could go back and check my last post. Oh, hold on, man. I gotta take this down because it ain't no more batter up. You know what I'm saying? We sports bar now. We have to shoot. I don't know. Maybe we will. I don't know. This is watching the sausage as it's being made. Who knows? So yeah, I told y'all yesterday about the whole thing. Well, yes, the last time we checked my last post, I spoke about Tommy Pham and how Tommy Pham has this. It's seemingly, I want to call it some sort of, I don't know, call it a vendetta, call it a, just being disgruntled. I mean, it's probably common for ex-players to have some sort of issue with the team that they're on, with the team that DFA'd them. All right, let's just be real. He was DFA'd. He was designated for assignment not long after he came in and hit a grand slam in his very first game against the with the St. Louis Cardinals when he did play with us for that short stint in 2024. So yeah, you want to say, all right, whatever, man, you did your little thug thizzle, you happy for you and all that, but he seemed to have come into this game with a little bit of chip on the shoulder, and it definitely showed. He's had some success with his clubs in the past, and that's all fine and dandy, but it's like this play right here was the one that kind of threw me off. Now, Pop Warner's at third base, as y'all know. Pop Warner, the third base coach, tells you whether or not to run or to stop. Hey, you too slow. Don't go no further. Hey, go ahead, Michael Ciani. You can make it. So he tells Michael Ciani to go ahead and run off of this Pedro Paez pop-up. But guess what? Tommy Pham is right there. It's a shallow pop. It's a shallow pop. Pop Warner, what were you thinking? Like, look at how shallow that is. I'll tell you what he was thinking. He was thinking Pham can't throw that far. Pham can't field like that. Pham ain't shit. Pham ain't gonna make it work. Well, Pham has a chip on his shoulder, bro. Pham was like, nah, man, y'all ain't finna do this to me after y'all DFA'd me, after y'all signed me from the White Sox. They had pushed me over to the Royals over there on I-70. Pham was like, This was a personal, vindictive play where Pham was like, yeah, nah. He was like, yeah, nah. Yeah, I ain't feeling all that. Now after y'all young bucks done disrespected me and took me all, and when I was in the clubhouse, y'all didn't know how to respect your elders. All that bullshit, all of that was unleashed in that throw where he threw out Michael Ciani at home plate after being sent. Now keep in mind, look at it. Yo, here's the part that get on my nerves, y'all. This the part that I know we thirsty for runs. I know we trying to hurry up and get in there because we like, yo, we ain't got nothing on the board. Let's get this game over. Now's our opportunity. But here's the problem with that thesis. Here's where I get a little annoyed with this whole little thing that went down right here. The problem is, if you look closely, you'll notice, fellas, it is no outs. There were no outs. There are no outs. There are no outs right now, Pop Warner. We're playing with no outs. There are no outs. There are no outs. You got a runner at third. All you need is a pop fly after that to get a sac fly RBI. And Pop Warner sends Siani. I know Siani one of the fastest ones on the team, but that is not a pop fly, bro. Look, it's bouncing right outside the infield. Why are you sending him, Pop Warner? Why? And this is after the JC collision where Ke'Bryan Hayes had enough wit, and they're saying, everybody's like, oh, Ke'Bryan Hayes with heads up play. Nah. The pitcher was sitting there like, tag him. So JC slowed down. I'm not as mad at JC because, look, this is dude's second year in the bigs. All right, he don't know what he's doing. He don't know what's going on. He just trying to get to the home plate. He doesn't know if he goes around, if he's going to get called out. I can understand that. I get this. I'm not saying that I liked it, but it's a youthful inexperience issue in that particular case. Pop Warner, you got no excuse. You played in the bigs. You saw that ball was shot to shallow center, left center, and you sent him. Siani ain't that fast. You think, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. The calculation was that Pham was not going to be able to hold down that play. The calculation was that Tommy Pham was going to F this up and that somehow he wasn't capable of making that play. But Pham was like, yeah, nah, I got this, homeboy. And that's the last time y'all disrespect me. And you best believe that he was thinking in his head, no, sir, I see what y'all doing and not today. So as much as I don't like what Pham said about the Cardinals, because I felt like he was throwing shade at some of the youth, and I'm glad he didn't mention names, but I am still curious as to who it is that he was talking about. This is one of the reasons why we left with the score of 2-1, because we took no real assertiveness right here on this play, didn't we? He slowed down. That was what look at him pull on the brakes. He puts on the skirt. No, that's where we lost right there. Those 3 stutter steps where he was like, whoa, what's going on? Where he didn't dive over these dudes into a front row, or just slide into the plate, or even for that step on them. I don't give a fuck their ass. Step on them. Right on them. They are in the line of fire, Sir JC. Don't forget that, man. Next time that happens, I need you to keep walking, keep trucking over them. Ain't none of this, oh, snap. No, you go right there into the line of fire, homeboy. Ain't nobody trying to be worried about whether or not they get hurt, because they are in the way. Technically, they are interfering. So, yeah, them little couple stutter steps cost us the game. But it wasn't just that. It was also Mr. Pop Warner right there on third saying, yeah, Michael, go ahead. You got it. You didn't have it. I can't put that on Siani. This is management, bro. This ain't got nothing to do with Siani. Siani would have stayed put if Pop Warner said like this. But Pop Warner did one of these. And guess what we did? We got called out, and we ended up with this as a score. All right, let's check out some of these boxes real quick, and let's see how well we did. Our pitching staff was loaded. Shoot, man, we had to go deep. Obviously, it was 13 innings. So, yeah, Fetty actually had a phenomenal outing. For his credit, he is finally figuring it out. And I know I've been real hard on Fetty. So I want to just say, Fetty Watt, my bad, homeboy. I'm glad that you out there showing improving. Appreciate it. This was a very good outing, but I got to say, it was against a weak team. So I hope you can still pull this off against some of the other teams we have, like the Phillies that we got this upcoming series. All right, Paul Maton is still my favorite right now. This dude is fuego. I hope he gets a promotion soon, because he ain't showed no signs of letting up yet. Look at his ERA. It's 0. He's got a 0 ERA. And it ain't too different from the times before that either. Leahy is working on it. Fernandez, man, I don't know. He done fell far from the glory I used to raise on him from the years before. JoJo is still inconsistent, but fairly reliable. Helsley had a difficult time. He actually had a hit on him this time around, which was interesting. That happens, man. Look, Devin Williams, all right, had issues last year. Emmanuel Clase still has some issues. It's not like everybody's perfect, and Luke Weaver as well. So let's not sit there and act like Helsley is different than all the rest of them. Mets, I believe, is moving up to starter pretty soon. Looks like he's improving, which that's cool. And Roy Croft is again being Roy Croft. And look, I don't know you personally, Roy Croft, so I don't want to talk about you, but damn. Man, this year has not been your year thus far, and I hope that things get better for your sake. Pitchers for Pittsburgh didn't necessarily have that bad of an outing as well. 10 strikeouts over 13 innings. All right, they only had 7 hits where we hit against them, and we ain't scored but 1 run, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. They started to hold it down. But look at our batters, man. Look, we didn't walk out. We didn't strike out a whole bunch. We had 10 strikeouts out of 44 at-bats. All right, that's less than 25%, man. That's a good outing for me. I actually like this. This is a good pitching duel, and we didn't allow ourselves to get completely overwhelmed. Look at the batting averages, all of them over, with the exception of Will Contreras, over two, and Ciani, of course. With Ciani, he normally comes in as a pinch. Okay, so JC had his 3 at bats and did strike out once. But hey, I mean, the dude did get on base, and he did manage somehow to make sure that he at least popped out, didn't get struck out. His OPS is en fuego, and it's just his second game in the bigs, I believe, this year, and he's in because I think we're working with the staff since Yvonne is out. Yeah, so we didn't have too bad of a guy. Look at Arenado. Took a walk, didn't get no hits, but it's all to the good. All right, we got Burley, got him a hit as well. Contreras actually got a hit. That was awesome. He's finally finding it, but I ain't gonna lie, he's probably looking at less at bats. If he don't start getting this together, we're probably gonna switch him to the lower half of the. I believe they actually did start him with the lower half of the lineup, so that's probably coming up pretty soon. Paez had that one hit that I showed you guys where he actually popped. Well, didn't I don't you don't even call this a pop up. It's more him just slitting it out just outside of shortstop. And as we saw, it got Michael Ciani called out. But that doesn't mean that it was a terrible game, even though the Pirates did have more success. And I truly believe that this game got away from us more than we got beat. We had multiple opportunities to make this our game, and due to some unfortunate decisions that were made in split-second moments, like the Sajacy jump collision and the Pop Warner send Michael Ciani to challenge Tommy Pham, we did unfortunately end up with this result, which is why some people are saying in their articles this morning, the Cardinals showed us exactly what they are. The Cardinals showed us exactly what they are. What exactly does that mean, homeboy? It feels like a slight. Oh shit! I don't know exactly what the point is, but it does kind of feel like you are onto something. Let's look a little bit further into this. So what this is an article by a young man by the name Bishop, who writes for a site called SB Nation Viva El Birdos, which is a St. Louis Cardinals community. And now I will read here what it says. It says, the Cardinals the Cardinals were off to a hot start. They swept the Twins and started 3-0 for the first time since 2006. And we all know what happened that year. However, the momentum has quickly dissipated, and the Cardinals now find themselves under the 500 mark at 5-7. Now they're headed home for a matchup against the Phillies and Astros before heading out on the road to face the Mets. First sign of the Cardinals' nosedive came in their series against the Angels. I know they're off to a good start, but I don't think it'll last. The Cardinals fought in all 3 games, but in the 2 losses, they got creative in finding ways to lose. I was willing to forgive the series loss after they won the finale. After all, they had a 4-2 homestand to start the year, which is pretty solid, even with the series loss. But it all came crashing down in Boston when they were swept over the weekend before ultimately losing out of a 2 out of 3 to the lowly Pirates. And this goes on even further to just speak on how bad it looks for us at this very moment, especially after losing to the Pirates, who are still ranked below us. They're still ranked below us. So after all these wins that we gave them, they still won below us. So it sucks a little bit. Let's just keep it real. It sucks. And he's not wrong. Cardinals fans right now are feeling pretty in the wilderness and not necessarily feeling like we have any hope. And why should we? Let's keep it real. We didn't start the year with hope. Why we gonna start having hope right now? All right, let's look at their standings. The Central is exactly where I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little shocked at the Reds. I'm a little shocked at the Reds. I would assume that the Reds would have been above us. The Pirates, this looks exactly the way I expected, with the exception of the Reds. I expected them to be in second place. And I do expect them to take off a little bit. Terry Francona, his reputation is on the line. He didn't go out like that with the Guardians or the Indians back then. And so I don't think he's going to sit. Maybe he's thinking this is rebuild. It's my first year with the season, and maybe we're going to have some growing pains. But I ain't going to lie, like, he's already got the talent there. Maybe pitching is a little bit lackluster. I wouldn't say that actually with Hunter Green, but everybody else. Did you see Hunter Green the other night, by the way? Dude he was on a mission. Had the Huggy Bear in the head, got the whole afro sticking out. I love that look, by the way. Very Negro League. Yeah, man. The dude did 9 innings. He was in there for 8, 9 innings. They had to take him out for like the last couple of innings because he was starting to walk some folks. That dude, respect. I remember I used to hate him because of how he did Wilson Contreras when he hit him last year after he came back when he was hurt. And they started piping at the mouth at each other. But nah, The dude is fuego. I ain't gonna take that away from him. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. That's the ADHD in me. So the Cardinals again have showed what he says, who they are. A little bit more from our friend Kurt Bishop. He says, in their last 3 series, the Cardinals have shown us exactly what kind of team they are. It's a team that is unlikely to contend and will be losing some very frustrating games. Unlike 2023, I like what I'm seeing from the offense. With the exception of on Wednesday's loss, they put together a solid game plan. New hitting coach Brand Brown clearly has a good plan, and the hitters have bought into it. Where they're struggling is on the pitching side. Oh, now where have I heard that from? Was it here? Did we say something about the pitching here? Call us speaking about the pitching here, because it is the pitching, is it right? Yes, that is the correct answer. Thank you very much. I've been telling y'all that the whole time. So yes, as he says, and we'll continue the article and we'll close out in a second. The Cardinals, it's the pitching. I'll read it again. Where they're struggling is on the pitching side. All right. Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, and Andre Polani have showed promise. Yes, but Matt Libator and Mike Michaelis are proving why they shouldn't be in the rotation. This is a team that is going to rely heavily on its offense to win games, and they will likely have to score a lot of runs if they want to contend, which I don't think is possible with this group. Damn, that's a tough one, bro. So lastly, I'll say, but in my opinion, these past 3 series losses served as a reality check for the Cardinals. Everyone, including myself, was very excited after that 3-0 start. I even started thinking that A, the reset was going to work, and B, the Cardinals could follow the path of the 2021 Giants, who put together a mediocre roster and won 107 games with it. Yeah, he goes on to say even more, and there's a whole nice article. I recommend that you all check it out. Again, this is from Kurt Bishop. I also took his headline, so shout out to Kurt. Want to make sure he gets his credit, especially if he did take the time to think of that headline. I don't want to just come and take the credit for it. So this is his headline, not mine. I just copied and pasted it onto the head to the picture so that we can get some attention from y'all. All right. So as you know, we did lose yesterday. The Cardinals aren't flying as much as they used to, but tonight they're trying to do something to hopefully bring back some excitement, which is it's their City Connect night. All right. It's City Connect night here in the city of St. Louis. And it seems like a good idea. You know, wouldn't you want to have City Connect night? It seems like a lot of fun, right? But I'm going to keep it real. If you read some of the comments, the fans don't seem to really care too much about City. Yo, sometimes I just like to read the comments from the fans just to see what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, even though the fans love Mason Wynn, sometimes they don't like what's being said and they express it, or they don't like what's being done, and they'll express it in the comments. So let's just take a couple moments. Let's read through some of these comments and see what it is that they talking about here, man, because this is kind of funny sometimes. Let's talk about it on the other side of this. So look at what they say. The first dude says, so excuse me. So the caption says, our Friday fit. We'll take the field in our City Connect uniforms every Friday in this home game season. All right. So that's like, yay, woo, that's pretty cool, right? We get to take the field every Friday in our City Connect uniforms. But what say the fans of the St. Louis Cardinals? Well, awesome. Sell the team. Fire Michaelis button. Jeesh. All right, sweet. Overhaul management. Oh, not looking good. Well, it's Johnny Mo's last year. Send Michaelis away. Oh, wow. It gets worse. Please close out games. For the love of God, my health can't take this. What are the replies? This bullpen is atrocious. Horrible. Good move, home team. There's some excitement. How about get rid of Mo and Marvel? Let's say starting tomorrow. Wow. Bye, Ali. Your social media team. Can you get on this request? Dang, that's messed up. Fire Mo. Dang, they really don't like. Is it really Mo's fault? Mo Zaylock? It's just once it's time for us to get the new City Connects. Honestly, let's just make Red Friday alternate with all right, whatever. Sell the team. Why? Oh, you mean sell to a different owner, but don't move the team. Just sell them. Okay. Just bought a win jersey. Good for you. Can we let a starter finish a good outing, please? Hey, yo, calm down, Gunner. All right, I know there's a lot of folks that are out there that are a little upset about Fetty not finishing his no-hitter because he had a no-hitter going through the 6th inning a couple days ago, but I disagree. We've seen Fetty, okay? We've seen Fetty go out at length, and his track record does not support a 9-inning no-hitter, and we ended up with the W, so I say we take it as it is. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. We got the W when we played against Paul Skeens, and that was a Sonny Gray thing. So I don't agree with y'all on this one. So sorry, that's just my opinion. But even furthermore, it also says, boo! Can we not put a poverty batting rotation in the field tomorrow, please, never want to see Sajasi on the field for a long time. Wow, he's batting pretty well. Yeah, like I'm saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, some of that is completely misappropriated, but you see that there's not a whole bunch of happiness and laughter and, oh, we did so well, and, oh wow, I'm so happy type. Let's compare this, right? Let's compare this with what we saw in the first day. Okay, this is when we had our curtain call, our first few days. Look at the excitement. Look at how much. So cool. Keep that going. I love them both. That's cool. Cancel the fan duels. Cardinals, go Cardinals. No, bat flip goes crazy. Look, like literally everything is good news. So this isn't some, oh wow, they're just mad right now. They're always mad. Nah, they're speaking on their true feelings. And so hopefully we get this together. Now we have a real rough series against the Phillies, who had the best record in all baseball last year in the regular season. And I do not think we have a chance. I'm just going to come out and say it. So I'm just going to keep it real. We might be seeing Bagman in the next few days, especially if our pitching is very, very bad. I think our start pitcher today is who is our start pitcher today? Oh Lord. Oh no, don't do me like that. Oh man. Palante. Woo! We might have a chance. He's going up against Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola is 0 for 2. So let's hope he is 0 for 3 after tonight. Tonight is, as I showed you before, City Connect night. So for those of y'all that do still support the Cardinals, despite them having a bad stint right now, let's at least rock and rep your city if you do the City Connect thing. Me personally, I got my City Connect. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even a jersey. It's, you see me wear it on here before. I should get a jersey too, because I think they're pretty cool. This is my City Connect. I got the hoodie, you know what I'm saying, which doesn't get a lot of play down here in Florida, but it's cool. I even got the hat for the City Connect. It doesn't match. The Reds don't match. So they got to work on that. That's a whole other thing. It's fun. I like the City. I like the whole the Nelly effect. You know what I'm saying? Because Nelly is the reason why they have these City Connects. Because Nelly said, "Hey, say it proud. What? I'm from the loop and I'm proud. Welcome out for the cause." So yeah, man. Hoping for a good night tonight. Maybe, just maybe, I'll still have Cuz on next time so we can talk more baseball with somebody else. If they don't win, let's not hold our heads. Let's just be mindful of the fact it's all a part of the process. And also, let's just be on the lookout for whether or not I change this name from Batter Up to Stand Up Sports Bar Baseball Edition, which is what I'm leaning towards, because I don't think I have to compete with nobody else about that. So I will leave you with this terrible play we had in a collision on, and appreciate y'all. We'll check y'all next time. Deuces.